confusing us whenever we find a load of stuff. Some will be real, some will be fake.
Got it, okay.
And if you go down the line, you'll see like the nurse ropes, so you can tell that actually now most dealers are trying to reach out to our children, our kids.
Yeah.
So they're making it look more and more like candy that we would normally consume from the stores.
So is this actual candy or is this drugs?
No,
it's
it's actually
drugs. It's
THC.
THC.
Oh, wow, wow, okay. And what is this here, alpha PVP? I mean,
It's more specific to Georgia, but it's another synthetic drug.
I see.
It comes from the cat plant from Africa that becomes a synthetic drug when it gets here, but it's similar to that of bath salts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bath salts from years ago.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Sure.
But as you see, there's peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle, what's
that
in
is
that?
real. But I wanted to show that if a kid opened up this, they could easily confuse peanut brittle for the drugs.
I see, okay.
And of course, it's all coming down the interstate. Just recently, we worked a case in Columbia County where we partnered up with Columbia County, Florida. And we got 30 kilos of cocaine that was coming from Texas, of course, from the borders over there. He had already dropped 20 kilos. We got him with 30 in Columbia County. So they're using this interstate as a thoroughfare.
Yeah, so we're at the intersection of 75, and is there another big interstate that comes through Valdosta?
No, we're not coming through.
No,
Close
close
enough.
enough, close enough.
Yes.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Okay,
So,
yeah. So, I mean, have you seen the examples of kids, I mean, getting into this stuff? I mean, I imagine if you open this up and you're 7 years old, you have no idea what
You
the
would have
difference is between the
no
candy and the
idea.
drug.
It looks just like it
it's
came
just
from the
like
store.
It came from the
Yeah.
store, the nerds, the gushers, the airheads.
Yeah.
The crawlers that most of our kids consume, so.
Yeah.
They would have no idea, but.
Well,
like I
and who
said,
even manufactures this stuff to make it look like this? Is this done in Mexico and then it's brought across
It's
the
done
border?
a lot, yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
overseas, come across the border, and then oftentimes we'll hit California or one of those over there, and then we ship either through 10, which is why we got 30 kilos,
Yeah.
through 10, or another avenue up through Atlanta down through us.
Down
Sure.
to 75.
Okay. And this is just stuff you guys have?
Yes, sir, along with all this
All
behind
of
us.
All of this, okay. Wow.
And one of these cases here was, they used two of the children in the car as a story. They had fishing poles in the car, and they said they were taking their kids fishing, meanwhile they had a couple of pounds of dope in the car.
So where are those kids now, do you know?
I'm sure that they probably went to DFACS at the time,
Yeah.
you know, where they went from there.
And we have no idea if they were actually related to these guys at all, or they were just using them for drug trafficking. Isn't that sick?
It is,
Yeah,
it's extremely.
It's unreal. When you think about what it takes to manufacture hardcore drugs that look like children's candy, and it's like, there's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So is the intent for the kids' addiction or the intent to confuse us?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Well, of course, you know kids are gonna get into it, right?
Correct.
God forbid this is on the streets of Valdosta right now, a kid is gonna get into
That
it.
is correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, have you all seen any direct examples of kids getting involved in drugs accidentally because of stuff like this?
I asked earlier if we knew of a case. I'm sure there is. We don't have a personal case other than the one where they used their kids to, we've had a couple cases where they used their kids as the ploy to throw us off. Hey, I'm taking my kids to Disney. We had one of those.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they were actually, kids were just the
Right.
ploy.
Yeah,
to
or the
transfer
kids
drugs.
fishing, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay. Man, well, thank you all for what you do. Unfortunately, it's gotten a lot harder because of all the cartel activity. I mean, have you noticed even here in Valdosta, in explaining how different it is now than 5 years ago, 3 years ago?
They're getting a lot smarter, that's for
Absolutely.
sure.
Everything is way different from what it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You gotta, like I said, when it comes to the trafficking, things of that nature, we're seeing more of the cards being used for the transition of cash and funds for funding this kind of thing. Whereas years ago, you would see tons of cash come through along with the narcotics. They're no longer doing that.
Okay.
So we've seen a huge transition in the last couple of
And
years.
of course, Lowndes has been famous for interdiction. But back then, they would just put it in the back seat. Now they've
Sure.
gotten smarter. Let's hide it from them so they don't realize what they're looking for.
Yeah.
We got whole boxes of candy.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't notice that. That's just amazing. Yeah, well, and then what are they just bringing this, it's in the trunk, are they trying to hide this?
Most of the time, yes, sir, the 30 kilo in Columbia County was in a box in the back seat.
Okay,
Hoping that we would just leave them alone.
okay. Man, the scent is overpowering, right? I mean,
Extremely strong.
yeah, it's unreal, okay. So what can we do better? Tell me what we need to do better to make this stuff happen less frequently.
I like to refer to the catch and release. We got to stop catch and release.
Okay,
We're allowing, everybody makes a mistake, I understand that, but but about the 10th mistake, it's not a mistake anymore.
That's
It's a
right,
habit.
that's right.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're seeing a lot of, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they get into the country not from being here, they get imported.
Yeah,
So we got to stop the importation, do better at that.
sure.
That would be my take on it.
What's driving the catch and release? Is that, I mean, you guys are catching the bad guys, is that local prosecutors refusing to lock them up? Like, what's really driving
I don't think it's
that?
just us.
I don't think it's just our local prosecution. I think it's nationwide, statewide. And what drives it, I really have no idea.
Yeah.
But we see it all the time. Like you said, after one time, we get a mistake.
Yep.
When you get 7, 8, 9, 10, now you made a choice, a decisive choice to do what you're doing.
Yep,
So,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, thank you all for showing me this. And what's the firearms here? Is that stuff you guys have?
Yes, sir. Some we've
too.
seized also. You got a couple of the handguns that are switched. They're fully automatic handguns, which are above the case. They're Glock fully automatic.
Yeah.
They're done by a switch. So we're seeing more and more of that, especially in the gang environment.
Yeah. It's just sawed-off shotgun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And which, I mean, what gang activity you're seeing here in all those stuff? I mean,
We've got a little bit of
we
everything.
got a little bit of all.
Okay.
From the Latin Kings, Vice Lords, Bloods, Crips, we got a little bit of all of them here. So we've encountered some of all of it.
Okay. It's just, I mean, people think, right, southern Georgia's pretty far away from the American southern border, but it's kind of crazy that what's going on there definitely thinks it's way up here. That's why we got to fix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.